Okay guys, welcome back to TaylorMade TV and thanks for joining the Average Golfer 3rd of January, straight back into 2018 with a massive product launch from TaylorMade. Did a brief video on this yesterday when the press release came out. Clubs arrived this morning and thank you to TaylorMade, full range. We've got everything to test in the weeks ahead. So that's irons, fairway woods, rescue clubs, M3 and M4, the complete range. But we're going to start proceedings, which is probably the flagship of the range. Is going to be the M3 driver. Now then, all you golf lovers out there will already be well aware of what TaylorMade are claiming they have done to the face of this driver, and they've changed things significantly in their opinion. We're going to find out very shortly if those claims ring true in the hands of the average golfer. But for the time being, we've got to be interested in what they're claiming. And it's twist face technology. So for many years, club manufacturers have used a theory bulge and roll, which is the way a club face is effectively square front to back, top to bottom. What twist face technology does is change things quite significantly. And if you have a look at this diagram in front of you now, I'll quickly explain exactly what they aim to do. So diagram on your left of shot is the robot testing under bulge and roll. So robot delivers the club head consistently. A toe strike will make a right to left shape, and a heel strike will hit a left to right shape, a fade. Bulge and roll, however, when tested on humans, suggests something differently. So if you start the ball off with a toe strike on a straight line, then you're effectively going starting right, starting centre, moving left, moving further left, and effectively way off centre, and vice versa with a heel strike. So effectively, what will happen is the common shot of average golfers like us will be one of two. It'll be low in the heel, producing a high fade, or it'll be high on the toe, which is my shot, and the problem I have on a golf course, which will produce what I like to call a snap hook. So that's the one that starts off, like I said, pretty much centre and hooks violently off to that left hand side. No one likes to see that. So diagram back up on screen, what's going to happen with the introduction of twist face technology? So what they're suggesting is they've opened up the club face on the high toe end of the club. So if you to strike the ball on the toe, and this is where the twist element comes into the description of this club face, it's high, it's opened up, it's got more loft on it, and it's effectively giving you more opportunity of hitting a straighter strike, or the ball flying straighter at least. And exactly the same, or the opposite I suppose, with a heel strike, is that they've closed that element of the face to accommodate and allow for hopefully hitting a slightly straighter result with that low heel shot. So that's twist face technology, about as good as I can explain it, I'm afraid, and there's plenty more information on TaylorMade's website for a more in-depth and accurate description, but that's the best you're going to get from me. Lots of other things built into this club face, and again, I think what we'll do, maybe leave that for a later video. In brief, I suppose what I'll mention is that there's Y-track, which if you take a look on the bottom of the club head there, you'll see that the T-bar track has been moved. It's now a Y-track system. There's so many different permutations into where you can move all this weight around now, and that's very much going to come into play when you look to get custom fit for this club. So there's so many variables. There's hammerhead, and again I'll throw a picture up here of the sort of slot that's been placed behind the club face itself. Once again, higher ball speeds. The CG has been moved, I think it's 36% further back than the 27 model of the M1 driver. So there's lots of changes. Again, they've gone with these tensile shafts, Mitsubishi shaft. I've got the blue stiff shaft in here to try today. 9.5 degrees with slightly 1 degree extra loft put into there for me. That's what I'm going to hit with. Thing is, will twist face technology make this a happy face? Let's move the camera, hit some golf balls and find out. Okay, so just before I do move this camera back into position to hit some golf balls, I think we better talk about aesthetics. Now, Bit of a change in the look. We've been used to in the last 2 years really the models of the M1 and M2. It's been very much the, I'll throw up the picture now, the top crown of this club. We're used to seeing this checkered carbon crown, but they've introduced silver in that front stripe, which has been white over the last couple of years. And then if you turn the club over, and again a picture coming up now in terms of what's on the sole of this club, and it's quite different and unusual, but it does have some similarities to a brand that you may recognise, and it's a real strange one, this, because it does remind you of the M Series BMW logo. There's no doubt about that. I really do like the look of the club. If I'm being perfectly honest with you, I've seen pictures on the internet in the last few days that have been released. I actually think it looks better in the flesh than it did on the pictures. So I'm really impressed in terms of looks. In terms of sat behind the ball, the other thing which I've no doubt you'll all be asking yourselves is the twisted face. I mean, is it visible? The answer, in my eyes at least, is no. The only thing you can perhaps slightly see is in the toe of the club. It's slightly open at the very top end. You can possibly just see that at address, but if you weren't told it prior to knowing, I'm sure when you sat the ball behind the club, you wouldn't have any idea, to be quite honest with you. So, like I said, this time we will move the camera and we will start hitting some golf balls. Okay guys, golf balls hit. Back home, I'm afraid, not a usual backdrop for me to analyse numbers, but I just wanted to spend, you just get this transmitter out of my pocket. I wanted to spend more time just analysing these numbers, and if I'm honest with you, I wanted to come up with some kind of theory as to whether or not twist face technology worked or not, and see if we could see that within the numbers. And I'm afraid that the simple answer is I can't, not backed up in data, and we'll get to my personal opinion on how it performed, but that's all I can give you. I can't back it up with a number. What you're going to see first of all, let's throw this screen up now. It's got a mixed bag of my hits of M3 and M4, so apologies there, but the white dots that you're looking at right now, and I'll also grab them on my laptop. The white dots are the strikes with the M3, and dispersion, I'd say apart from the block out right, which was a long ball by the way, probably the longest ball I've recorded with a driver while shooting these videos, to be quite honest with you. I think it comes up about 290. However, it is probably ending up in the rough. But the dispersion of the other 9 balls was relatively tight. Question is that down to twist face technology, or is it down to my ball striking? I've still missed majority of the balls. 7 out of the other 9 are missed on the left hand side, which is my not necessarily bad shot, but I will always be left of centre is the kind of miss that I make. The question is, how much further left would they have been without twist face technology? And that's the problem, and that's why I sat down afterwards when I first finished hitting the balls and tried to analyse, well, was I assisted by twist face technology or not? And like I said, I can't give you an answer. Let's just get back first of all. I'll give you my opinion on it a bit later, but let's stick to straightforward numbers. 10 shots hit. Right, here they come. 98 mile an hour clubhead speed, ball speed 142. Extremely low spinning in the setup that I had it. Carry distance averaging 236, but we had a couple of low balls in there of 218 and 226, and another one of 226. Take them out of the equation, and it was a long carrying driver. It performed very well, and in all honesty, smash factor was 1.45. Again, some not so great strikes in there, but as you'd expect from the average golfer. And carry distances again, overall total distances. Longest ball up at 290, which I've referred to, was a bit outright, but there's a lot of balls in there, 274, 274. The golf club performed. There is no doubt about that whatsoever. In terms of overall distance and carry distance, it performed as any driver that I've used. It's like I said, in actual fact, I've not recorded a 290 drive in all the time that I've been testing the golf clubs. could have been just a one-off shot. And like I said, I suppose in theory, let's forget about it. Almost it was too far out right maybe to consider. They're the strikes that I hit. My opinion on twist face technology is this. I would love to do a video where I can really show the difference as to whether or not it works. And I don't know whether that will ever be possible. I'm going to look to test it against the M1 of last year. And again, do a sort of 10 strikes v 10 strikes and see if we can really notice the difference of my swing on that day. Is there a difference? We can record within TrackMan. It's worth mentioning I use TrackMan today because we can see where it is coming off the face, as opposed to I can't do that in SkyTrack. And that might be that we've got to spend a bit more time analysing this data and a bit more of an in-depth review to see if we can actually prove whether or not, or go some way to showing, at least demonstrating whether or not twist face technology works. So for the time being, the jury is out. I'm still not dismissing the fact that will it or will it not work, because there's nothing wrong with the numbers it's produced, but I want something to back it up in black and white that I can see, or something I can report back to you, because I hit the golf ball today perfectly well. You know, it was okay. I didn't particularly feel I hit one shot a lot worse than the other across the club face, so I can't even report anything back in terms of a personal opinion, I'm afraid. That's all I can give you, my honest assessment. It is a very, very good golf club. Nothing wrong with that. I just cannot decide whether or not twist face technology, and that's the bit that I'm really interested in. Maybe I'm just paying too much emphasis to that. Look at the golf club in its as a driver. It's a very, very good performing driver, and no doubt will perform well in the hands of many average golfers. The important message is this: that was me hitting the golf ball today, and only me. The important thing is that you hit the golf club as ever. Try it yourself, and your opinion is the only one that really counts. And I hope in the weeks ahead I can do a test that, like I said, gives you more information and analysis on whether or not twist face technology actually works, because I'm not so sure just yet. But like I said, good driver, nothing wrong with it. Performed very, very well indeed. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thumbs up if you did. Subscribe if you don't already. And I'll see you very, very soon, because I'm about to go through the same numbers that you've seen in the Dispersion that I hit with the M4 driver. And that's the video coming next. So stick around and watch that one. Right, see you soon.